Hey guys, this is Kim Hartz, and today I want to talk to you about something that we all encounter when we're photographing pets, and you may not fully understand how this feels. And I recently experienced this, and I think it'll help you become a better pet photographer. So recently, I was asked by a friend, fellow pet photographer, to help her get some images put together, and she asked if she could use my dogs as models. And I said, of course, and we went over to her studio, and we're getting all set up. It's funny because when I photograph my own dogs in my own studio, it's a very different experience because they're used to being here. They're used to coming up the stairs and running around. They come up here when I don't have clients, and even if I'm not photographing them, so it's a very comfortable space for them. And when I took them to her studio, they had never been there before. We didn't do a planning session or anything like that because it was just to get a few quick images. So this was completely new. And I saw a side of my dogs that I had never seen before, and it was so embarrassing. I realized as I was there watching one of my dogs fling themselves against her glass door, that this is how a lot of our clients feel. And it's really interesting being on the other side of things, because I always say it's really important to set the expectation and to manage those expectations of your clients. And it's really important to understand that feeling of complete horror when you see that your pet isn't behaving as you think that they should. And unless you have experienced that in the same situation, you may not understand just how it feels. And I've been doing this for a long time now. And this was probably the first time that I've really actually experienced how a potential client feels. It's always so important to remind them, don't worry, this is totally normal. All pets, jump on and off furniture. They get really excited. I mean, that's one reason I do a planning session. So it does cut down on that, which is super helpful. But, in case you couldn't do one, the people are completely mortified. Your clients are sitting there thinking, my dog is the worst dog that has ever lived. They're going to just kick me out. The images aren't going to turn out. And it's funny because you understand to a degree how they feel, but just having experienced it personally, I was completely mortified. I was like, wow, it's like my dogs have never had one day of training, and they're both pretty good. It was so funny. And I was completely horrified, and I kept saying to her, wow, now I really understand how our clients feel. And like I said, I always try to, mitigate that with, this is very normal, but it's a very interesting experience. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I think it will help me moving forward, to be able to share that experience with my clients, to be like, look, your dog's actually doing great. This is really normal. And I know because I have had my pets photographed and they do the exact same thing. So it's not so much, just telling them, don't worry, because people don't, sometimes they're just like, oh, they're saying that to be nice. But really understanding how somebody else feels in that situation, it's much more easy to empathize with them. I could just see one of my dogs just jumping and flinging himself against her glass door. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But I think moving forward, I'm going to be able to be a better pet photographer because, really emphasizing that planning session, which I've told you guys is super important, something you really have to do. So you can kind of avoid some of that, but really understanding what a person is feeling, because you want to make sure that that animal is comfortable, but you want to make sure that the owner is as well. So making sure that you tell them really early on before, at the planning session, this is what's going to happen. We're going to, since we have a planning session that's hopefully going to cut down on this, but it's still going to happen. So just be ready for it. And then keep reminding them. It's all about setting that expectation and managing that expectation. Remind them throughout, this is super normal. My dog does the same thing. It's just very exciting, new things, new experience. So don't worry, this is normal. We are getting shots. That's another important thing, is to remind them that you are getting images, because a lot of people have left my studio before and they're like, oh, I'm sure we didn't get anything. And they're super surprised when they see, oh, we got a lot. Because as a pet photographer, that's our job, right? We have to understand how to work with these animals and how to deal with that high energy and excitement, and know that Sessions are not going to go super smooth, where it's not like doing a headshot where you tell somebody to sit down and how to move, and they do it and you click the shutter and you're done. Now, it's a very different experience. So being aware of all that and really managing that expectation for your client is going to be huge. It was really funny because I am so used to doing that for my clients, and then being the client, just a completely different experience. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was so hilarious how horrible you can feel, and really understanding the position our clients are in sometimes when their dogs or cats are not behaving how they want them to, and it's really embarrassing. So making sure that you really manage that expectation and really let them know that this is normal, that this is okay, because they still might feel horrible because it is normal and it does happen, but it's like when your kid, if you have kids, is in a, like a Target and throws a giant tantrum because they want that toy and you won't buy it. I mean, it's the same level of just pure shame. So, just being able to kind of combat that, it will really help you in the long run being a pet photographer, not just taking better images of pets, but having better relationships with your clients. So lay that foundation from the beginning, let them know that it is part of the deal, and it will really help you moving forward. So I would love to hear some of your stories. If you've had your pets photographed, not just by yourself, but in that similar situation, how did they act for you? I was very, sadly disappointed that mine weren't better. But you get used to photographing them in a quiet environment, a comfortable environment, like my studio, because they've been here. So then when you take them out of there and put them in something brand new, you're gonna have those situations. So please share with me some of your situations. I would love to hear them, and I hope this helps you moving forward. Thanks for watching.